board has received a certificate of compliance from the National Planning Authority on our strategic plan as part of the requirement for budget processing and its implementation. The board's work plans and activities are being anchored on these strategic objectives and interventions therein. Honorable Minister, while these achievements I've mentioned are all commendable, our core focus remains steadfast, delivering quality TVET assessment that truly works to meet industry demands. High-quality, industry-relevant TVET is the cornerstone of sustainable industrial growth and national development. To realize this, we are committed to forging strategic partnerships with professional bodies, industry associations, and global institutions in curriculum development and assessment processes. These collaborations will ensure our curricula and assessment are aligned with international standards. Working closely with the TVET Council, we will fast-track curriculum development and accreditation of TVET providers, thereby creating a dynamic ecosystem where industry demands are integrated into every facet of training and assessment. This approach will produce a workforce that is not only skilled, but and Connie will wave her hand. Thank you very much. Okay. Looking ahead, how the board wishes that the draft TVET qualifications framework is prioritized and operationalized by the TVET Council. The framework establishes clear competence levels, facilitates mobility, and promotes lifelong learning. This framework will also unlock career advancement for our youth and enhance employer confidence. In conclusion, I extend my sincere appreciation to our development partners, especially the government of Belgium through Enable, whose generous support has contributed to strengthening the competences of the assessors. Finally, Honorable Minister, it's now my honor to invite our Executive Secretary to present the May-June 2025 assessment results that are to be officially released today. Our motto, assessment for employable skills, for God and my country. Thank you very much.
At this juncture, I want to invite the Executive Secretary could be helped to put on the microphone to issue a statement of the release of the results. Thank you.
Thank you. Our chief guest, the Minister of Education and Sports, the chairperson and members of the Education and Sports Committee of Parliament, the representatives of the Education Development Partners, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, and your technical team, other permanent secretaries present, the chairperson and members of the TVET Council, represented by Statutory Kodrisa, the chairperson and members of the board of Uvtab, the executive secretaries and representatives of other assessment boards. You can see my sister Katatambi is here of Uvtab. The directors and representatives of other statutory bodies, Uvtab secretariat staff, the representatives of the TVET providers, the representatives of the private sector and the world of work, the candidates representatives, we have those from inclusive education. You can stand up for recognition, those who are here. From inclusive education, SNE, are there some here? Okay. We have also those from catering, those catering students from Uganda Catholic Management Training Institute, Ruwaga. You can stand up for recognition. Thank you for coming. And thank you for showing the standard which we are going for. We have members of the media who are here. For you, we identify you by your gadgets. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Guest, before I read the statement also, I want to ask that you allow me to welcome you and sincerely thank you for coming here this morning. I know you are here, but some other function must have suffered. And with that, I want to request, Uvtab staff, please you clap for the minister. It's not easy. But I also want to welcome all of you. You must have also sacrificed something. And we invited you at short notice. So we thank you for turning up. And my team, we can also give a round of applause for. And I'm sure those who are not here, there is a reason why they are not here. Honourable Minister, allow me to present to you the report on the conduct and the performance of candidates that were assessed by the Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessment Board during the May-June 2025 assessment series. And this is our first set of assessment as a new board, which is 5 months old. The assessments were conducted from 2nd May 2025 to 27th June 2025, and these were conducted in 499 assessment centers. Out of the 499 centers, 306 presented candidates for 4 motivate programs, and 193 presented those from the informally acquired skills, as it will be indicated in Table 1. A total of 75 centers presented candidates for technology education and training assessments. 25 centers presented candidates for agriculture education and training assessments. 234 presented candidates for business education and training assessment, and 165 presented candidates for home science education and training assessments. The assessment report presented here is only for final year candidates who will be exiting to the world of work or can opt to progress for further training and education. And that Table 1 gives you the broader categories as described by Article 30 of the TVET Act. And in summary, 306 centers presented candidates for formal education, and as I had indicated earlier, 193 were from informally trained candidates, which gives a total for 499. Our chief guests allow me to move to the registration of candidates for May and June. From Table 1.1, we can note from that table that the board registered a total of 30,291 candidates, with female candidates contributing 17,245, compared to the male candidates who were 13,046 for May-June 2025 end of program assessment, as the table shows. The high number of female candidates is from the informal acquired skills assessments, mainly in the field of home science education and training, technology education and training, and agriculture education and training. Part of the explanation is the short-term duration of training modules and flexibility in training and assessment. Out of the 30,291 candidates that registered, 3,681 were absent in one or more paper assessments, while 26,610 of registered candidates stand up for end of program assessments. The informally trained candidates contributed a total of 19,511, while candidates registered for formal training assessments were 10,078. From the table 1.1, candidates that registered for technology education and training were 14,475. Agriculture education and training were 2,449. Business education and training were 4,439. And home science education and training were 8,928. Allow me to move on to the highlights of candidates' performance and the end of program assessment. So the following sections that we are going to follow now are dealing with the real performance. And from table 2.1, which represents the summary of performance of candidates by gender, we can note the following: that out of 30,291 candidates that registered, 26,610 turned up for assessments. Out of those that sat, 24,116 successfully acquired full competencies. It is observed that the completion rate for candidates across most programs was very good, above 75%. The general performance of female candidates was better, with 14,188 out of 15,399 candidates that sat acquiring full competency, compared to males, where out of 11,211 candidates that sat, only 9,928 successfully acquired full competencies. The completion rates of the candidates from the informal acquired skills were good at 96%, compared to those from formal TVET at 81%. The good performance may be attributed to the flexible nature of acquiring skills and focused hands-on skilling that the trainees go through. The details of performance of candidates in specific programs, stroke occupations, are presented in the section 3, which we are moving to. And I want also to note here that special needs candidates for formal TVET programs, a total of 109 candidates with special needs were registered for assessments. Out of these, 102 candidates sat for assessments, and from these 85 acquired full competence, while 17 acquired some competencies, but will be given a chance to perfect their competencies when the board will conduct these similar assessments. And then when we go to special needs candidates who are in the informal acquired skills assessment, we note that a total of 19 candidates with special needs were registered under this section of assessment, and they were assessed. These candidates pursued the occupations of tailor, hairdresser, and jewelry making. 17 out of 19 candidates, representing 89%, required full competencies, and only 2 did not acquire full competencies, and they will also be given a chance to perfect their competencies when the board will conduct similar assessments. Our chief guest, Honorable Minister, allow me to go to presentation of the detailed performance of candidates in the May-June 2025 assessments. And this will be presented following the fields as guided by Section 30, subsection 2 of the TVET Act number 3 of 2025. You notice that the reporting is changing because we have really reformed. So the Section 30 gives 4, actually there are 5, but we assess only 4 broad categories how we shall be dealing with the new TVET system. So we shall deal first with the technology education and training, agriculture education and training, business education and training, home science education and training. These are the four broad categories we assess this time. But according to the law, we have a fifth one, which is sports education and training, which we shall be adding on. And within this, still section 31 tells us that we shall be looking at TVET in two broad ways. The upper TVET, which is state, from level 4 to 5, then the lower TVET, which is VET, from level 1 up to level 3. And now we are going to report on the detailed performance, one in the first section of technology education and training, but the upper band, which is technical education and training. So table 3.1a represents technology education and training, but at the diploma level, which is upper band. And the table, long as it is, Chief Guest, I want to note the following. The details would be given to you as you have them. But to take an example on table 1, on table 3.1a, we are going to go through number 4, which is the National Diploma in Civil Engineering. It means that 300, if those with the 300, it is there now, 312 female candidates registered in that program. 1,554 male also registered, which means the total was 1,866. But out of those, only 1,654 sat. And then the passing, as you see, those who got class 1, those who got class 2 distinction credit. And overall, if you follow that one through, I was dealing with number 4. If you follow through, it means that 80% of all the people that sat acquired full competencies, and they are now ready to go for work or for further studies. So from this table, we can now note the following: that the total of 120 candidates registered for assessments, from which 4,089 sat for assessments in various trades. Out of the candidates that sat, 192 successfully completed their courses with class 1 distinction, and 2,997, which is 73%, with class 2, which is a credit. The overall completion rate stood at 78%, with a total of 3,189 candidates acquiring full competencies as they exit the world of work or proceed for further studies. The performance of candidates across most of the program was good, and also noted that the low performance rates exhibited in some programs was attributed to master of skills in specific papers or modules. And here we have a diploma in automobile engineering was affected by low master of skills in electronics. Diploma in architecture was affected by low master of skills in building specifications. Diploma in civil engineering and diploma in water engineering affected by elemental of design of structures. Diploma in biomedical engineering affected by biocontrol systems module. Diploma in fashion and design affected by poor performance of candidates in exhibition and marketing. And last, end of refrigeration and air conditioning candidates did not pass the paper of engineering mathematics 3. You know, that is the hardest paper, I think, which is in the engineering courses. And there is always a problem, but the reform would solve that problem. So don't get worried, those who are here. Now we go still on the technology education and training, the lower band, which is vocational education and training. And now you see I'm quoting the certificate. And here only one institution presented. And from this table, the performance of candidates who pursued certificate in land management and geometrics are presented. A total of 85 candidates registered and 73 sat for assessment. From the candidates that sat, one candidate managed to score first class, and 30 scored second class upper division, and 10 scored second class lower division. The overall completion rate stood at 56%. This low completion rate is attributed to poor performance of candidates in the modules surveying 1, land scale modeling, principles of property economics. Now, if we move to table 3.1b2, technology education and training, and we take the workers' pass results. In short, the table says, from this table we note that 122 candidates registered and sat for workers' practical acquired skills assessment. All the candidates that were assessed acquired full competence in their respective occupations. Because this is totally practical. You can't fail practical if you have been going through it. We move on with the detailed performance. Table 3.1b3, technology education and training modular results. These are short courses. And we note also here, if you go through the whole table, we note that a total of 8,723 candidates registered and 8,016, which represents 92%, sat for modular occupations. From those that sat, 7,920, which is 99% of the candidates acquired full competence in their respective occupations. If we move on again to table 3.1b4, still under technology education and training, full occupation level 1 results. In this group, 356 candidates registered and 345, which is 97%, sat for full occupation level 1. From those that sat, 229 of the candidates acquired full competence in their respective occupations. We'll continue with the details of the performance. Table 3.15, still under technology education and training, full occupations level 2. Here we have the bricklayer, motor vehicle mechanic, domestic electrician, electronics technician. And for this group, 43 candidates registered and all of them turned up for assessment, full occupation level 2. A total of 35, which is 81% of the candidates acquired full competence in their respective occupations. We are not saying that those who didn't get the who did not get full competencies, that they have the competence, but somewhere 1 or 2 is not clear, and they will come back and finish this one. Table 3.1b, 4, still under the same technology education and training. This is level 3 of full occupation assessment. And from that table, we are testing the occupation cook. In this table, only 26 candidates registered and sat for the occupation cook at level 3. And from those that sat, 20 of the candidates acquired full competence in their respective occupations. Now we go to the category of agriculture education and training results. Still within that group, we have those who are at the upper level, which is technical education and training, in short is TET. Then we shall also have those at lower level. So in TET, we have a diploma, end of program, and table 3.2a is there, national diploma in agriculture production management, diploma in beekeeping, diploma in forestry, etc. And from this table, 3.2a, we can note the following. One, that a total of 760 candidates registered for assessments, from which 661 sat for assessments in various trades. Out of the candidates that sat, 318 successfully completed their courses with Class 1 distinction, and 315 with the Class 2, which is a credit. The overall completion rate stood at 96%, with a total of 633 candidates acquiring full competencies as they exit to the world of work. The performance of candidates across most programs was very good, with some which had 100% completion rate. Now, in the same category of agriculture, the lower levels from 1 to 3, and that is the certificate level. And you can see the certificate which was offered there is a certificate in ecological organic agriculture. And from this table, and that one program, 6 candidates registered and 3 turned up for assessment. The 2 candidates representing 7% successfully complete their studies with the first class. This was only a small number of candidates from one assessment center in this assessment series. This could be Fisheries Training Institute or some other institute. Then we move on with agriculture for informally acquired skills. Agriculture education and training assessment, full occupation level 1. You can see the categories. And from this table, a total of 12 candidates registered, and all of them came and turned up and were assessed, and 7 of them acquired full competencies and will continue with their business. This one is always part of upskilling. Somebody comes, picks a skill, and continues with their, you can see the categories, pig farmer, poultry farmer. So now this tells you that the reform, the new TVET system, we are going to skill all Ugandans, so long as you are skillable. But we don't expect anybody not to be skillable. And this will go even to train in your mother tongue, in your mother language. Because people come here, do our work, but they don't speak the language you understand. I don't want to mention. Therefore, in the reform, the message that we are going to skill all Ugandans. And we have also found out that once you skill a person, this person has a skill. These people have something to do. They don't move up and down with envelopes looking for jobs. They do, they work. Table 4.2C, agriculture still, under full occupation level 2. We have a herbalist group. There were 5 candidates registered, and all of them sat, and all of them passed. And they will also continue with their work. But they have that document which shows their level of performance. And that's what we want to make sure every Ugandan has. That even those who go out to work outside Uganda, you have a document so that you have a level of skills and you can offer, but not just go without any documentation. Now, category 3, which we have gone to, is business education and training results now. But it's also in 2 bands, the one upper, diploma, and then we shall also go for the lower ones. So we begin with diploma. In that table, diploma accounting and finance, diploma business administration, and the rest as you see them. And the table is long, it continues to the next page. But what do we note? From this table, it shows performance of candidates who pursued diploma in different business education and training at the end of year 2, who are completing. A total of 2,363 candidates registered, and 1,900 sat for assessment. And from the candidates that sat, 529 scored class 1, which is a distinction, while 1,137 scored class 2, which is a credit. The overall completion rate for this category stood at 87%, with a total of 1,657 candidates successfully completing their courses. Candidates who pursued the National Diploma in Business Management did not show mastery of the course unit elements of taxation, and this affected their performance negatively, with only 36% successfully completing their course. We go to the lower band, still under business education and training. And here we had only one program on tourist guide. And from this table, it shows that 87 candidates registered, 84 turned up, and a total of 63 candidates acquired full competence in this occupation. I'm sure you are wondering why we find people registered and did not turn up. We have a research here which we carried out. There are reasons, various reasons, which we, if you want information, you will come for another day and we'll give you information. There are various reasons why people register and they don't turn up for assessment. And I can't enumerate them here, but some of them, others get married, others go to work, others, when somebody gets a skill, he goes to work, and he forgets that he was supposed to go back at school. There is maybe a pressing problem at home, and he was first to solve it. So while they have not appeared, it doesn't mean that we have lost them. They always come back. You can be and you get somebody who was in school in 2000 and he says, I want to complete. So we gauge and recognition of prior learning, then we put them somewhere and we assess them and they proceed. Others are very big people. They are very big people, but they want to add on papers. So the following table, which is 3.3b2, we are going to business education and training, modular assessment. It was also still towards the guide. And there were 15 candidates who registered, 14 came. And all of the 14 candidates were assessed and they passed well and got full competencies in this occupation. That is also another area. You know, the way we are guiding the people, a tour guide. I went somewhere to visit and my tour guide had a PhD in history. Because that's where it fits. Somebody has the history, can tell you when Christ was born and when he died. He has the history. But here we don't see it as an opportunity that this way you can, so somebody is there with his paper, he wants to be an HR person, what. But the jobs are there. So we move to home science, education and training. And that's the category 4. But even in that one, we have two bands, those who are doing diploma and those who are doing certificate. So for the side of diploma, it is in its table 3.4a. And from that table, the performance of candidates who pursued diploma in different home science education and training programs are presented. One, we note that a total of 218 candidates registered, 201 sat for assessment. From the candidates that sat, 145 scored class 1, which is a distinction, while 40 got class 2, which is a credit. The overall completion rate for this category stood at 92%, where 185 candidates will exit the world of work with full competencies. So now the media will help us. When you say home science, you can see the categories involved. Diploma in hotel and institutional catering, national diploma in cosmetology and body therapy, diploma in food science and nutrition. That's home science. When we go to the lower band, VET, in the same category of home science education and training, these are certificate levels. A total of 207 candidates registered and 168 turned up. From the candidates that sat, 73 finished with the first class honors, while 51 scored second class honors, and one candidate scored second class honors lower division. The overall completion rate for this category stood at 74%, where we have 125 candidates who will exit the world of work with full occupations. and they will proceed studying. Still, on the same category, we have results for full occupation level 1. Those are short courses, but which lead to necessary skills for survival, and people go and work. And in the new TVET system, this will study. You can use this line and reach your PhD level. So when eventually you hear that we have set up the technological university, that's where people would go. There is no crisscrossing, except if you want that you are leaving this system and you want to go to the general system. All those who are in the general system, they are coming, but it would be easy to move from one system to another. So here we are on level 1, and we note the following: that a total of 1,367 candidates registered and 1,333 turned up for assessment. Overall, 935 candidates acquired full competencies and will join the world of work. All the trainees who were assessed for the occupations, waitress, receptionist, home care assistant, and NEET exhibited high-level performance at 100% competence acquisition rate. Then we have home science education training, full occupation level 2, where we have hairdresser, catering, and hotel management. That's at cook, baker, and tailor. We had 65 candidates registered and 64 turned up. Overall, 40 of them acquired full competencies and will join world of work. We'll go. Then 3.4b, home science still, workers pass level 3. That table, which is table 3.4b4. We also note that a total of 46 candidates registered and 45 turned up for assessment. Overall, 45, which was 100%, acquired full competency and will join world of work. All the trainees who were assessed in various occupations exhibited high level competence at 100% competence acquisition rate. Then we have, still in the same category, this is workers' pass results. You note that 54 candidates registered, 3 turned up. The overall competence acquisition rate was 94%, with 50 candidates who started acquiring full competence. And we note 3, that all the trainees who were assessed in the various occupations, except juice processor, exhibited high level of competence at 100% competence acquisition rate. So you can see the reform, things have changed now. The statement is long, but this includes all the Ugandans, and it is going to be longer than this once we take off, because we are talking of all the people. Whether you did what, whether you studied what, you need a skill. The bulb is off, and you have to call someone. The whole accountant, like me, all the water in the bathroom has the problem. You don't know even what has happened. Then you call people, and you got a technician. They don't come also. The whole night you are there. But I'm also going for skilling. And I would also call you to come and... our education system, how it is good. It has really brought us as nature. That's why we are here. But you are in a house. And the bulb is off, and you can't tell what has happened. A bulb. And when the other technician comes, looks at you, like they say that Jesus wept, and he weeps. So he goes inside, touches this and this, and says, okay, 50,000, you pay. And the man goes. I've ever had, I'm trying to put you off, it was very long. The airlock in water. The airlock, and the whole night you have not bathed with your family, all of you. And the man tells you it is midnight, maybe says, I'll come in the morning. 8 o'clock, you can't go to office, you're waiting for the man, he comes. Then he goes outside, opens something, maybe on the meter, and the water comes. 100,000 you pay. But that's what we are trying to avoid, that our children should not be in the same thing. And I'm glad to report to you that really we are being approached by secondary schools, we are being approached, all sorts of people training. Because if we inculcate this in our children, secondary schools are coming, they want that we skill, the children are skilled from childhood. Primary schools, so the work is big, but we also want to assure you also ready to do what? To do that work. Honourable Minister, the work you have done, you helped us on the law. What is remaining is in our courts and we shall deliver. On achievements and challenges, ladies and gentlemen, Honourable Minister, the board usually encounters a number of challenges while conducting these assessments. However, I would like to begin by sharing with you a few successes that the 6-month-old board has so far achieved. I know they were highlighted, but let me read them. The construction of the assessment center building has been completed with minor snags, and we are already occupying it. This is part of the site, and we are really happy. And we are happy that even the minister who is here, you have really been with us, and you know where we are staying, where we have been working from, and where we are. We are really, really happy, and we thank God for that. Then after commencement of TVET Act, the board made efforts to continue with the backlog assessments that were under the Director of Industrial Training. This has continued, and assessment results for candidates that were assessed in May and June 2025 are among those presented for release today. The board, with the guidance from the Minister of Public Service and the Minister of Education and Sports, has now an approved structure. I think the Uvtab staff should craft there that we have an approved structure and that is now being implemented, and the validation exercise, as the chair said, is almost complete. And I want to thank you members for that one. The board has embarked on retooling staff, assessors, and selected experts from the world of work who are involved in assessment. This is aimed at equipping them with skills of competence-based assessment in line with the TVET reforms. The last one, that the board has continued to administer inclusive assessments and offer support to candidates with special needs during the assessment. In this assessment series, a total of 128 candidates with special needs were assessed. And from formal TVET, 109 candidates, and from informal acquired skills, there were 19. They were registered and they were assessed. We have some few challenges which affect our operations, and Honourable Minister, allow me to just read them verbatim. Most TVET providers have inadequate practical training materials and equipment, which makes the conduct of some practical assessments more costly, and sometimes it involves many shifts during the computer assessment. But generally, you find when the institution doesn't have the materials and will put up a cutting list and they can't purchase, so there's always that problem. But also working hard, since the curriculum mandate is under us, we shall have to see that without compromising quality, we can be able to assess people and they can be able to assess skills and people can get out and work. But we have to get the balance on that issue. We have another challenge, which is assessing candidates for special needs is also costly in terms of support personnel and other requirements, and therefore more funding is needed here. Now, Mr. Dirisa, you are here. There is this animal they call TVET qualification framework is re-affecting the full execution of the board's function as outlined in the Act, but I know you're also working hard to ensure that this one is out of our way, and then we start using that document, as the chair said. Now, this one, the last one, many TVET providers lack valid training licenses, and the board cannot now accredit them as assessment centers. Now, this is a role for our sister organization, our regulator, TVET Council, but I know they're also working hard to ensure that they get on the ground. We have a few recommendations. One, training providers are advised to partner with other stakeholders to ensure funding for practical materials and equipment for training and practical assessments. On this one, we are talking about funding, but if you have an industry near your training institution, we use small-scale industry. Here, we don't have those large industries. But that small garage, you just dodge and you can't greet the people who are working there. Can help you to train people, your students, and even in assessment. Because they're the ones who are working on modern cars, modern engines. You can't continue using the carburetors. So, 2, the TVET Council is requested to fast-track the operationalization of the draft TVET qualifications framework. 3, the TVET Council is also requested to fast-track the licensing and registration of existing TVET providers in order for the board to accredit them as TVET assessment centers. Of course, currently we are advising them to go to the nearest training institution, but it is costly and sometimes it can kill your own institution. Once you take students to be assessed another institution. To the honorable members of the 11th Parliament of Uganda for their considerable effort, which saw the enactment of the TVET Act 2025.
We are sorry for the technical glitch. We request for your patience.
Mwamubiri asaze amagezi nga manyize technician katkoze bubiri. Thank you, Commissioner. I would like to thank the staff of the Secretariat for the critical role they have played in all the processes of assessment and their professionalism. To date, the board has not detected any suspected cases of assessment question paper leakages. That one has never been in the history of assessments in this site. And on that note, I want to request the foot soldiers, the Uvtab staff, to stand up for recognition. Thank you. The examination activities are 24/7. That's why you see very few. We are over 100. All other activities are ongoing and they are time bound. You can't have that today, tomorrow. Once the ministry sets the program, we have to follow without fail. That's why they are not all here. But I want to thank them really. I thank all the various categories of personnel that were involved in the conduct of assessment, including area coordinators. I think some are here. You can stand up if you are here. Area coordinators. There from Entebbe. I will have heads of centers who are here. Stand up for recognition. Heads of centers. Those are our clients. The scouts, some could be here. The scouts who are here. Now those ones, but the supervisors, are there some here? Then the assessors, usually when we on-spot assessment, we deploy very many people. It's one of the expensive activities we have here. The assessors and other individuals who worked with the board in all these processes. I equally extend my appreciation to the Uganda Police and other security agencies that assisted the board with storage facilities and helped conduct a smooth assessment. Anybody from Uganda Police who's here? Okay, but we have others who are here. Finally, this statement is coming to an end, don't worry. Finally, I've told you this is the next one will be a Bible. So, 46 million, isn't it what they reported? We have to assess them. Finally, on behalf of the Secretariat and on my own behalf, allow me to congratulate all the candidates and parents, stroke guardians, and all other Uvtab stakeholders for the accomplishments made to this day. It is now my noble duty to hand over the May-June 2025 end of program assessment results to the board chairperson, who will in turn hand it over to you, the Honorable, for release to the public. For God and my country. Thank you.
Thank
As
you.
we strive with our motto, which is assessment for employable skills. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Onesimus Uyesi, JCPA, for that elaborate accountability of the results of the May-June assessment series.
Photographers, we go here, we go there, we go here.
Thank you very much, the Executive Secretary, the Chairperson, upon handing over the results to our Chief Guest. Our Chief Guest, allow me at this juncture to brief you about the audience you will later address. With us, we have the members of Parliament, the honorable members of Parliament, and they are being headed by the chairperson of the Committee of Parliament on Education and Sports, Honorable James Kovecteria. I call him Uncle Kube. And then I'll briefly talk about why I call him Uncle Kube. I had a benefit, Chief Guest, to view the session in which you were passing the TVET Act. That time it was the bill. I really saw the game called chess. And as you were Papa TVET, Uncle TVET was the one in the steering. So at this juncture, I want to pass on a special gratitude to Papa TVET and Uncle TVET for having passed the act. I am aware that it's because of that act that the whole nation now is benefiting, starting with me, Professor Okello. I can see Onesimus. I can see my young person in Katakwi, all enjoying from TVET. And that is a milestone in the TVET reform. And we have hope that the future is extremely bright for the skilling and employment. Thank you. I will not have the shoes big enough to introduce the members of Parliament. I am aware that Uncle TVET will have to address the audience, and you will have that courtesy to introduce his colleagues, honorable members of Parliament. Chief guest, we have the education development partners with us, and in a special way, I want to recognize the presence of Ham Rukure, Mr. He's representing the country director of Annabelle. Annabelle has been, and he serves as a sector expert to Annabelle. And Annabelle has strongly supported the cause for TVET and the skilling. They have different projects. For Uvtab, they have supported the capacity enhancement of the assessors in TVET. We have just passed out 160 experts in assessment from both the industry and the TVET providers. Thank you very much, Enable. Honorable Chief Guest, we have the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education and Sports, and her entire technical team. And the Permanent Secretary was represented by Dr. Musene Safina. Maybe she will also have to address the audience, and she will have the courtesy to introduce the technical team. Musene is the Commissioner Health, Education and Training, the Minister of Education and Sports. We also present our gratitude for honoring our invitation. Chief guest, we have the board members of Uvtab. We already introduced themselves. We have the office of the president is ably represented, and I would like to categorically introduce to you Dr. Faith Katana. Dr. Faith Katana is a presidential advisor on skilling, and she's coordinating the skilling the girl and the boy child. Earlier we were talking about education and training for the adults. Now you can hear the girl and boy child, and she's in charge. Then I would also like to introduce to you Mr. Kagonyera Francis. He's a coordinator from the Presidential Advisory Committee on Export and Industrial Development, Passage. Their chairman is Mr. Rwabogo, and their role is to enhance value addition for all exports. And there is a direct linkage between TVET, skilling, and the exports. Chief guest, we have also Sister Dr. Mary Grace Akrol. She's from the Office of the President, and she works as the Deputy Coordinator of the RDC Secretariat. There is a very strong linkage in mobilization of the citizens, especially youth, when they are joining the... She is the Executive Secretary of the Uganda Health and Uganda Allied Health Assessment Board. I may not have pronounced it well. We are in the transition of the reform. We have a representative from the National Council for Higher Education. If you are present, please. Yes. Previously, most TVET programs were being approved by the National Council for Higher Education. Now that Uvtab has a role in curriculum development and management, a new role that has been assumed from National Council for Higher Education, and they are our stakeholders, our mentors, and our advisors. Honorable Minister, with us there is Baba TVET. Now I'm introducing Baba, the other one was Papa. I heard when the chairperson was mourning the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. She missed Papa. Papa, we have been calling him Papa because he has been an embodiment of patriotism and Pan-Africanism in Nairobi. But now here we have Papa TVET, the Commissioner TVET, Mr. Mubiru, David. He's here in the capacity of the Commissioner TVET, representing Madam Loi Muwezi, whom we always call Mama TVET. We are grateful for honoring our invitation. We also have a representative from the Uganda prisons. If you're around, yes, wave to the chief guest. Don't salute. Oh. I know you, if it is your order, don't worry. Don't worry. If it is in your protocol to salute, please. I should not break the protocol. There's a very big connection between TVET and Uganda prisons, for they are producing quality furniture this country has ever had. And also, I am told there's assessment going on, especially on lower VET. Now I'm using the term lower VET, and concentrating on informal assessment. So the Office of the President seems to be having a very big hand there, And also the Uvtab intends now to start the TVET, the higher ones. And we have hope that Uganda prisons will transform the rehabilitated Ugandans to come out with more skills as seen. We have a list of principals who head the TVET providers. If you are here, the principals, please stand up for recognition and wave at the chief guest. Please, principals present. We have a representative of the National Water and Sewerage Corporation. The National Water and Sewerage Corporation is the biggest industry in the plumbing and related skills. Honourable Minister, we also have a representative from Agri-Privy Secretary General, Mr. Kakonge, yes. Agri-Privy is for the Private TVET Providers Association. And we are glad that you honored our invitation. We have representatives of the alumni and the representatives of the trainees. The alumni, if they are present, please wave at the chief guest. The trainees from the two different institutions. There was one from an inclusive institution. You just stand up once again and wave at the honorable chief guest. And then the last group from the catering institution, still stand up and wave at the chief guest. Our chief guest, I have tried to connect TVET and skilling to this function. But the last group is the media fraternity. They are our great friends in championing the cause of awareness and raising and connecting the community, updating them on progress of TVET and skilling programs. We want to thank the media for turning up in big numbers, and we urge you to continue to propel the cause of skilling our citizens, because that's where jobs are. Finally, chief guest, allow me to invite the chairperson of the TVET Council to come and address the audience. And thereafter, I will still request the chairperson to invite Uncle Kobe, who will later run. If Uncle Kobe is the PS, then thereafter the PS will invite Uncle Kobe, and then you will allow me not to speak again until when you are finished addressing the public. Thank you.
Can I use this one?
Okay, fine, thank you.
Honorable Ministers of State for Education and Sports, the chairperson and members of the Education and Sports Committee of Parliament, distinguished representatives of education development partners, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Sports, and your dedicated technical team, the Permanent Secretaries present today, the chairperson and members of the TVET Council, whom I'm representing today, the chairperson and members of the Uvtab, executive secretary and staff of Uvtab, assessment boards, executive secretaries and members, officials of statutory bodies, Uvtab secretariat staff, TVET providers represented here, private sector and industry partners, students and their representatives, members of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today to represent the TVET Council chairperson, who is away on official duties, and hence I had to stand in and air out her remarks. Honorable Minister and distinguished guests, I'm honored to be here to witness the official release of the first assessment results by Uvtab. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the board members, management and staff of Uvtab, and on the successful conduct and the release of the Uvtab assessment results for the May-June 2025 series. I commend the board for establishing a robust and credible TVET assessment systems that are commendable and pivotal to building competent and skilled workforce that is very critical to our nation development. The contribution of quality skills assessment through Uvtab is instrumental in ensuring that our technical and vocational education and training TVET system produces competent, innovative, and industry-ready graduates. This aligns perfectly with Uganda's broad aspirations of socio-economic transformation and sustainable development. Therefore, by certifying the skills of our youth, Uvtab is not only enhancing individual livelihoods, but also strengthening foundation and competitive, resilient economy. The TVET Council is fully prepared and committed to supporting Uvtab's efforts. We look forward to fostering a strong collaboration with ministries, departments, and agencies, industry stakeholders, and all partners involved. Our goal is to establish a well-regulated TVET landscape that sets and upholds high standards, ensuring that our graduates meet the evolving demands of industry and contribute meaningfully to the national growth. It is also very important to acknowledge that the Council is now well constituted. With a competent secretariat established and led by a very dedicated executive director. We are ready to accelerate our efforts towards achieving a comprehensive framework, like he said, for quality assurance, regulation, and standards in TVET. Furthermore, we sincerely thank the Honorable Minister of Education and Sports and technical team of the Ministry of Education and Sports, because your support is crucial in fast-tracking the execution of TVET Council's mandate and in realizing our shared vision of a quality TVET system in Uganda. At this juncture, I wish to inform the various TVET providers that the TVET Council is ready to embark on the process of licensing and accreditation of all the TVET providers. The Council will issue a detailed roadmap and provide guidance in the shortest time possible. In conclusion, as the TVET Council, our focus remains on providing a quality TVET system that produces competent graduates who can contribute towards socio-economic transformation and national development. Thank you very much for God and my country.
Your Honor, you were also requested to invite the Permanent Secretary.
At this juncture, I would like to invite our Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, to address this congregation.
The Honourable Minister of Education and Sports, the Chairperson of the Committee of Parliament on Education and Sports, Honourable Minister, allow me to observe the protocol that was presented by the ES, and I go direct to the speech that has been prepared by the PS Minister of Education and Sports. Honourable Minister, I was introduced. I'm called Dr. Safina Kisumusene. I'm representing Dr. Kedwe Triagenda, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education and Sports, who is out on an official duty, but he made a written speech, remarks for you, Honourable Minister, and all the audience. It is with great joy that I join you to witness the official release of the assessment results of the May-June 2025 series. We celebrate this achievement, knowing that it reflects the dedication, hard work, and commitment of all those involved in the TVET system. This success is a testament to the collective efforts of our trainers, assessors, institutions, and stakeholders. Indeed, your input, your output represents the ultimate win for the Ministry of Education and Sports, and a reflection of our shared goal to produce skilled graduates who are ready for the world of work. As the Ministry of Education and Sports, we remain deeply committed to the mission of providing technical support, guidance, coordination, regulation, and promoting the delivery of quality education and sports to all persons in Uganda. For national integration, individual and national development, this is not only an exception to TVET, because it is a duty to produce a competent and skilled graduate. We are dedicated to ensuring that the legal and regulatory frameworks necessary to support the TVET are in place to guide the entire process, from training delivery to assessment and to regulation. Our vision is to provide quality education and sports for all, focusing on a robust, industry-responsive TVET system that can churn out competent, confident, and practical graduates. Furthermore, we recognize that the quality of training is directly linked to the capacity of our trainers, and infrastructure available. We are committed to aligning our trainers with emerging trends in TVET delivery and technology while integrating innovative teaching methods, digital tools, and practical experiences. The Ministry of Education and Sports leadership will also continue to invest in infrastructure improvement that supports hands-on training, ensuring our graduates possess the skills that are vital for industrial growth and national development. I would like to take this opportunity to appeal to all our educational partners, especially training institutions, industry players, and development agencies, and all stakeholders to maximize efforts in enhancing the quality of TVET delivery. Especially, I call upon all industry leaders to actively engage with our trainees by providing internship and placement opportunities that allow them to master soft skills, gain real-world experiences, and meet the dynamic demands of the industry. Besides, because of the technological changes, our trainers should benefit some hours of industry-based upskilling. Maybe we can emphasize this. We want to see that our trainers are competent to the current skills. And therefore, PS is advocating that our trainers don't only be in training institutions, but they should also have some hours in the industries where they put their trainees to train. When we produce quality graduates, we strengthen our potential to drive the socio-economic transformation and propel Uganda towards sustainable development. Our collective efforts will build a skilled, adaptable, and innovative workforce that can meet the challenges of today and seize the opportunities of tomorrow. I commend Uvtab, the chairperson, and ES and the Secretariat for the job well done. We can clap for them. Within the few months, they said they are 6 months old. Within the few months, we are seeing some results, and it's commendable that they are doing their work very well. Your work underpins the integrity and credibility of the TVET systems. Together, we are shaping a brighter future for our Ugandan citizens. Honorable Minister, with all that said, allow me now to invite the chairperson of the Education and Sports Committee to give his remarks, and later we'll invite you. You have been called Uncle Kube.
I'm sorry.
Uncle Kube.
PS, before Uncle Kube comes in, I request you introduce your technical team. Kindly, yes.
I'm sorry, my technical team. We cannot deliver without you. May I request you to stand up and I then introduce one by one. We have been told we have the father of TVET, Mr. Mubiru David. He's the commissioner for TVOTOM. Of course, we have Mr. Dr. Edith Riatemba, Christine, Sam, Audrine, Innocent, Nusula, Razak, and Moses. Thank you very much for supporting. And Doreen from Directorate of Educational Standards, thank you very much for being here to accompany the Honorable Minister of Education and Sports and to see that the delivery arm is here to witness the assessment arm performing. It is now my honor, Honorable Minister, to invite Kubekateria to come and address, and thereafter invite you to address the congregation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hajat and PS. The Honorable Chief Guest, who is the Minister of State for Higher Education, representing the First Lady, the Minister of Education and Sports, the Honorable Members of Parliament of the Committee on Education and Sports, the PS of Education and Sports, the Chairperson of the Council, TVET Council, the Chairperson of the Board, the Executive Secretary of Uvtab. Can I say protocol observed? Because you are very many. Now, Chief Guest, I would like first of all congratulate Uvtab for the release of the results for this year. So before I make my comments, I'm always brief. Can I take the honor to introduce the members of the Education and Sports Committee? Can you stand up for recognition? I'll start with the Honorable Itungo Tresije from Mbarara in Kashari. He's a very strong member and supporter of this institution. Then Honorable Omar Isma from the municipality of Kotido. Then Honorable Etuka Isaac from Madio Kolo Upper. Now, Chief Guest, we are very delighted to be here with you to share with you the successes of this function today. You remember very well the speed at which we moved in passing this law and the pressure from the powers that be that they wanted this law to be passed. So it is now my humble request that the board of Uvtab and the TVET Council, the ball is now in your jacket. You must move expeditiously and ensure that we achieve our target. I'm personally very happy with our committee, with the executive secretary, with the staff of Uvtab, because it was a transition from UBTAB to Uvtab. And you as a board, I think you have a very skilled and enriched staff that can make us push forward. So can I request that you should really embrace the staff of Uvtab now to ensure that we move forward, because you have gotten a staff that is already acclimatized to the environment of the TVET. It's a very, very good staff because they have worked with the Parliament for quite a long time. And can I repeat again that wherever the former Allied Council, the former UNIMEB, and former UBTEB, that whenever they present their budgets, I think they don't have any queries. And wherever we do oversight, we always see value for money. And that's why this hill we are on now is full of the efforts of such institutions. So the chairman of the board of Uvtab, can we have a synod of these boards that you can get in touch with the UPAB board, Uvtab, you are always going to move forward. So this is also an eye-opener to Ugandans that in today's release of results, little did I know that there's a course called Waitron. There's a course called Waitron. So when you look at home science and all that, I'm just very excited that every sector now is catered for. Means that all Ugandans can fit anywhere, irrespective of their higher qualifications. So, Mr. Executive Director, I think it is now your duty. The board of Uvtab, the TVET Council, and the members of the press, these are the issues that you should be reporting to Ugandans. I think they are very beneficial. Whatever Ugandan is very useful, and whatever is done, like he was giving an example of a bulb and a water lock. So this is something that I'm appreciative, and I'm sure if we moved further and told the public, I think we have a lot of resource, irrespective of whether one was going to school highly or whether one was totally not going to school, but he can do something hands-on. So, Honourable Minister, can I also report that as we passed this law, there is a forum I attended yesterday of Vice Chancellors, and they were saying that the 1 year transition given to them maybe is quite a short time for them to have that university, the University of Technology. And can I also propose that when we have such functions, could you be inviting some of the other academia to know where we're standing right now? Because yesterday I was urging them that as they look at their curriculum, it should talk to the lower secondary curriculum. And also, I think this is an opener that the labor is now demand-driven. That the manufacturers, since they are part of our board, will know what the market wants, and they are the ones going to actually demand for the providers that this is the type of people we want. So yesterday we had some executive director of Kira Motors, and we are saying that as long as you have electrical engineering or mechanical engineering, have we ventured into the issue of batteries? Because according to them, they are producing electric cars. So we're saying something must be done to the effect that the issue of batteries, because these vehicles are actually using batteries. So you may find that the training, we shall have people who are trained to produce what is required and what is marketable. So, Honourable Minister, with those few remarks, I would like to once again congratulate Uvtab for the release of these results, and I can assure you that the institution will always be on your side, and the sky will not be the limit. Can I once again call upon the Honourable Chief Guest to come and address this meeting? I thank you for God and my country.
Thank you very much, Chair. Let's get seated. Let's get seated. Thank you very much, Chair, Education Committee of Parliament. I have a very long protocol list. Chair and members of the Education Committee of Parliament, allow me to ride on the protocol that was presented by those who spoke before me. And I think they're very articulate, isn't it? And allow me to say a few things, because many people have been talking. I don't want you to forget where we started from. I'll start with one point. First of all, I want to congratulate Uvtab for this beautiful function. I tell you, I'm one of the people who do normally want to supervise, check on this and that. And I did that. But I will tell you, I'm extremely satisfied with the work that's going on in this institution. Look at the arrangements, the cleanliness of the place, and the way the ideas are prepared. I saw my chairperson almost saying, why don't we also go for skilling? Members of Parliament. Why not? Why not? Can't we organize something for the members of Parliament to be skilled so that after their term of service in Parliament, they don't go on the streets? And the Minister of Education and Sports for all of you. She's on leave, but she has she's following whatever is going on wherever she is. I thank God, and we should all thank God for his faithfulness and for keeping us safe. We celebrate his mercies and the goodness to each and every one of us. I join the Uvtab board to welcome all distinguished guests, stakeholders, and partners present here today to this special occasion where we release the Uvtab results for May-June 2025 assessment series to the public. I am glad that TVET reforms have taken off with the existing TVET system and the agencies created, including the TVET Council and assessment boards. These entities will play a key role in the realization of the TVET reforms guided by the regulation arm, delivery, and assessment in line with the TVET Act of 2025 that commenced on the 15th March this year. To this end, it is imperative that we strengthen our partnership with professional bodies, industry associations, and the TVET providers worldwide. The industry input will ensure our curriculum and training packages are not only relevant, but also meet the highest global standards. This alignment is essential for producing employable artisans, technicians, technologists, and other professionals that can contribute to our industrialization agenda. Since the inauguration of the board in July 2025, I commend the board members under the leadership of Professor Engineer Dorothy Okero for the milestone so far attained. I take note of the good work done by the Ministry of Public Service and the Ministry of Education and Sports regarding Uvtab staff structure and progress on the validation to ensure we continue serving Ugandans. Those of you who listened to the speech of the chairperson and a statement by the executive secretary about the results we are releasing today indicate that there is increase in access of TVET to TVET, evidenced by the numbers of candidates that are being produced as compared to what used to happen in the past. I am proud to note that out of 24,457 candidates that successfully completed their training programs and assessment, 14,354 are women. By the way, that's good news. This used to be for us, the men, who have the Kanyama. I therefore commend the increasing number of female candidates in assessing TVET programs. This is an encouraging sign of government's efforts to promote gender parity. These results underscore our collective dedication to empowering young Ugandans with the skills that meet the demands of the industry. Given our commitment as government, we are shaping the future of the skilled workforce through our transformative TVET reforms. These initiatives are shaping a more responsive, more inclusive, and industry-driven technical and vocational training system. Today is a special day for all of us. It's a day of giving thanks to God as we release the results at Uvtab. It's very difficult. You know, these reforms are sometimes take skills assessment center. This one. What a beauty, what a beautiful building. I think this is what they call the state of the art, isn't it? I was sharing with the chairperson of the board, and she told me that this building has been sponsored by the government of Uganda, 100%. I feel sorry for many of you Ugandans who are still questioning government, government, what has the government done? You come to Chamboga and see what is happening in the education system. Go all over the country, state-of-the-art technical colleges, state-of-the-art nurse training colleges. People, Ugandans should be fair to yourselves and honest to yourselves and say thank you to your His Excellency, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Yoweri. It's my hope. I hope you remember. You remember when it comes to ticking, tick that money with the biggest hat on top of the head. That's why I said I'll be very brief, because I don't want you to hear some of the things. It's my hope that the center, once fully equipped and operational, will support initiatives towards innovation and research. This will improve our capacity to deliver high-quality assessments, uphold standards, and ensure the credibility of our assessment and the certification process complete. The TVET Act of 2025 provides for a strong regulatory framework under the TVET Council, and I would like to appreciate so far how the Council is setting to do its work and serving the nation. The overall function of the Council is to oversee the regulation of the TVET system in Uganda. Looking ahead, the TVET Council should fast track the operationalization of a comprehensive TVET qualification framework. This framework will establish clear pathways for career progression, to facilitate industry recognition of skills, and enable seamless mobility for our trainees. I've taken note of the efforts by the body to collaborate with industry players. By fostering these critical partnerships, Uganda can position itself as a competitive player in both regional and global markets. Quality TVET that aligns to international standards will boost industrial growth and attracts foreign investment and accelerate our journey towards attainment, sustainable development. As the Ministry of Education and Sports, our partnerships with other stakeholders is central to building an employer-led, industry-responsive TVET ecosystem. Scaling up an infrastructure across skills development centers, vocational training institutes, technical colleges, and upcoming national technical university will ensure access to quality TVET for all Ugandans. The NRM government recognizes TVET as a priority sector, with several ongoing projects aimed at strengthening it. Among these is the Uganda Refugee and Host Community Project, which is valued at US dollars 8.7 million. This is supporting the rehabilitation and equipping of 3 skills development centers, Inde in Madiokoro district, where my brother comes from, Amugo in Terego district, and Buhungiro in Isingiro district. In addition, 9 technical institutes across the country are also being rehabilitated and equipped. These include Lutunku in Sembabule district. In Kabale, we have another St. Kizito Technical in Masaka. Another one is in Nkoko, Naruire, Moroto, Moyo, and Bilembo. All these are being financed by our efforts as NRM government. The NRM government has undertaken significant strides in expanding and improving the country's education infrastructure. If I may share with you a few, under the Uganda Secondary Education Expansion Program, which is called USIP, construction of 116 new secondary schools is underway, alongside the expansion of 61 existing schools to enhance access to quality secondary education. Additionally, through the Uganda Learning Acceleration, we call it ULearn project, which is our flagship program, 121 traditional secondary schools and 29 teacher training institutions, including the Uganda National Institute for Teacher Education, UNITE, have been earmarked for rehabilitation, and they are going to be rehabilitated very soon. 66 special needs education institutions are also going to be rehabilitated and expanded further, all this demonstrating the government's commitment to inclusive education. There are many things that are taking place in the ministry, in education, and they are all attracting lots and lots of money, and the government of NRM is committed to spend that money. These transformative developments have been made possible through the visionary leadership of His Excellency retired General Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, whose government continues to prioritize education as a cornerstone for national development. Furthermore, we recognize the importance of engaging global partners such as international accreditation bodies, development agencies, and technical universities to adopt best practices and share their expertise. This will not only elevate our standards, but also open avenues for our trainees to access international opportunities. I think I better conclude. I extend my warmest congratulations to our trainees, and congratulations, dear. Congratulations. Your resilience and dedication to is very instrumental in transforming Uganda's workforce. Your skills are the backbones of national development. I also wish to acknowledge and thank the development partners. We've heard about Nabel and others for their continued support. Finally, it's now my honor and a pleasure to officially release the results of the May-June 2025 assessment to the public. Where do you want us to stand? Here? Better where? There? Okay.
As the photo moment is taking place, I have some announcements to make before we will stand up for the anthem. Amidst us, we had the representative from the Uganda AIDS Commission, and Edie, press that machine. Just press on that machine. Edie, press on that machine. Thank you. Amidst us, we had the representative from the Uganda AIDS Commission that is struggling to ensure that the young people remain healthy as they are acquiring the skills. We also had Mr. Jumbe, ICT Manager, TVET Council. We had Mr. Stuart Mwesigwa, is a representative of the Roofings Uganda Limited, but in this capacity he appeared as a technical delegate, Honorable Minister. of the World Skills Federation Uganda. The second announcement, Honorable Chief Guest, since we are in the season of celebrating and protecting the gains of the NRM government, there is a commissioning of this state of art coming ahead in a month, within a month. And the CEO will invite everybody, chief guests, kindly, if you're invited, come and we celebrate, but also protect the gains of the yellow government. The last one, we are going to have lunch on the 6th floor, but I request the staff, if you see the queue or the engagement is too crowded, we have provided for you an alternative at the terrace at the 2nd floor. So you're welcome for our lunch. End of announcement. Finally, on behalf of the Office of the Director of Programs, I want to thank you for being so kind, calm, attentive, and jolly during the entire proceedings of this session. I now request the PA System Administrator to help us sing the anthems in a reverse order, and let everybody stand up in honor of the anthems. Thank you once again. Thank you, the chief guest, for honoring our invitation and gracing this occasion for the benefit of the entire country, for God and my country. The anthems.
Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Uzalendo pia mshikamano, iwe msingi wa umoja wetu, na tulinde uhuru na amani, mila zetu na desturi zetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Viwandani na hata mashambani, tufanye kazi sote kwa makini, tukitoe kwa hali na mali, tulinde
Thank you. We are going to have a photo moment and then the question and answer session. But we request the order should be the question and answer. That's right. Question and answer session will be within this area, and then the photo moment will be in front of the assessment center. Thank you. So the media is requested to come forward and have an interaction with the chief guest and his team. Get prepared for a photo moment, and then
absent. Yeah. Now, the issue of when you look, you can begin. When you look at the statistics, it can worry you that some people register and they don't come for assessment. It looks like as if it is negative, but inside there is some positivity. How is it? How does it happen? We carried out a research some time back about why was it happening like this, and we discovered one, there are people who come in after acquiring some level of skills, they go out and start working. So you find that one's problem was a skill. Then others are sick sometimes, others can be sick, but majorly the cause that people, after acquiring some skills, they go out and start working. Some, when they send them for industrial release, they don't come back. But we have also, along the way, found out that these people eventually, in subsequent assessments, they come back for assessment at their convenience. And what brings that is that now the assessment is so flexible that you assess today, and another lot once comes, somebody can come back and be assessed. So we don't lose them completely, like they don't come back, but somehow they come back. It is not as negative as you look at it, but that is the positive part of it, that once somebody gets skilled, go and work, so later they come back. And then there was something, I think, about the... Now, the informal students being higher. You know, this training, the informal, what we are calling informal, actually, which eventually is going to be formal, is that these are short courses focused on certain occupations. We are not looking at somebody coming for 2 years, for 1 year, whatever, but they are focused 3 months, 6 months. So the people, most of our people, you know, most of our people come for these courses because they quickly get the skills they want, perform certain tasks, and they continue with their livelihood. If I want to put it, can be like we are looking at life-saving skills, survival skills. So because they are short, focused, it doesn't waste a lot of time, so it is here for some people. And also you're about to ask why female are more there. I think they find it very convenient to come work, acquire skill and go and work, other than the long time. Of course, you know, people sometimes there is no fees, there is no what, but these ones, they are short and focused, and that's why the numbers are high. Still, most of this training is practical. It does not involve a lot of science and the rest. You get to see it is practical, short, and I think that could be the reason, still the performance. You know, well, the two, to me, we should not... the other one has also its own advantages. I don't want to divert you from your question, but it is like when somebody says, why can't you go for technical, lower level, and you go and work and leave the university education? Both systems are very, very important. Now, this other one, being that is long, but it involves some bit of science. The why. The why. So you can say, the lesson is yes, is that if we make more, if we make most of the formal courses more practical, most probably they will attract more students there. But remember, there also the aim in the formal training is always also to move higher. People are aiming at career pathway, career growth, and they go study higher, continue with the other. But now that we have also opened this system, the TVET system, which also takes these ones we are calling informal. Somebody takes an occupation, but will continue studying that same occupation to higher levels. We expect that still it will attract more and more candidates that side. I don't know whether I have, yes.
I'm going to ask my chairperson also to just make a comment about what you are asking.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Maybe to add to what the ES has shared, this is why we are emphasizing the TVET framework, the qualifications framework, which will start from level 1, you come in, and the lower levels, as has already been shared, is the VET, where there's more practical, right? So when you come from the VET, you are looking at 80% practical and 20 theory, right? Then when you get to TVET, the percentage of practical goes down a little bit, while the theory increases. And if you go to the general education, again, you find. So, but you need all those spaces, because each of the combinations between how much practical versus how much theory you have has an implication on what we need for the development of our country, because we need people to fix things, but we need people to plan things, and we need people to design things. All of those factors dictate the amount of theory versus practical that one should have. And this is how you see the differences coming in. For practical, you come in because there's a particular skill you want to gain. And so at that level, it's easier to do things in short courses, in modular forms, and the like. But the more theory that you require, then you need a bit more time. So then we start moving up the framework. But there you are coming in for different purposes. With the framework, and this is why we emphasize it, one will be able to move in and out depending on your needs and your interests. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kale olwaleero tufulumiza ebyavudde mu bigezo bya Uvtab. Njagala okusooka okwebaza kanso ne boodi empya. Boodi eno tennaweza mwaka mu ofiisi, naye mu bbanga ettono lye badde mu ofiisi bakoze ebintu bingi. Omuli okutumaliriza n'okutuzimbira ekizimbe eky'amaanyi, tugenda okuddukanyiza emirimu, okubeera nti n'ebigezo babikola bulungi, nga tewali n'omu oba yeetaba mu kubba, tewaliwo mitawaana ng'ebyo tutera okuwulira accidents ng'ezo. N'ekirala tubeebaza okuba nti basobodde okukkiriza abaana ne beeyongera bakola ebigezo bino. Namba z'abaana zabadde nnungi ate era abaana bakoze bulungi. Namba z'abawala zwate zansanyudde okufa obufi kuba nyingi, abaana bawala bangi nnyo abatandise okulaba nti kibagasa okugenda okupimibwa ku skills ki ze balina. Era njagala kusaba ggwanga mwenna bannayuganda abali eyo, oba olina ka skill oba obukugu Katonda bakusobozesezza okutuukako, jangu tupime, tukuwe certificate, tukuwe work pass, tukuwe ekintu ky'oyinza okulaga ng'ogenda okunoonya kino kye nsobola okukola. Nze ennamba ezo mujja okulaba nga zeeyongera mu bungi. Oyinza n'okuba nga tuli mu ssomero eriri formal, n'obeera nga osomedde wa muliraanwawo ekintu n'ojja ne bakupima n'ofuna certificate. Lwaki abaana abamu abeewandiisa okukola ebigezo tebasobodde kubeera mu bigezo? Ensonga omukulu azoogedde bulungi, naye nze ndowooza nti era kimu ekyagendebwa kya puroguramu eno kwe kulaba nti buli munnayuganda ayetaaga obukugu abufuna wabwagalidde. Kati abamu abasinga obungi bwamala okufuna obukugu obwo n'agenda n'afuna omulimu, beerabira okuddayo okukola okumala. Kitegereka kubanga tugenda abamu basoma tusobole okufuna ssente. Bw'alaba ng'afunye akalimu kamuleetera ssente, nga nti ebyokusoma kambizze wabbali. Naye njagala kubagamba nti temwerabira kuddayo okumaliriza kufuna certificate zino olw'ensonga nti buli w'obeera wonna ne bw'oba nga ogenze bweru wa ggwanga, certificate zaffe ez'olagayo nga bakuwa omulimu okutegeera ki ky'osomye ne ky'osobola okukola. Bimala ebyo. Bakulu bannabyabufuzi, nze njagadde nnyo sisitemu eno ey'okufuna obukugu. Twagala ffe nga gavumenti buli muntu yenna akyasobola okubaako obukugu bw'ayiga. Kati namba zigenda zeeyongera, kitusanyudde, ne tusaba nti buli munnayuganda gy'oli eyo osobola okubaako obukugu bw'oyiga n'obeera ku myaka egiringanga egyange n'okusingawo. Bamemba ba Parliament ne bannaffe abalala bangi bagenda bakaluubirirwa obulamu nga bavudde mu Parliament. Genda budde buno mu bakulu bano bakubeko ka skill ke bakusomesa bwoba toyiseemu tojja kulwana nakubonaabona nnyo kubanga ojja kubaako wootandikira mu bigambo by'okukola emirimu. Mugende musome mufune skills musobole okutambuza n'okulaakulanya eggwanga lyaffe. Would you like to say something? No. Mwe bane mbunirabidde okusaba akalulu mu Luganda. Bino ebintu bino bye mulaba bino ebirungi ennyo bino. Amasomero amalungi, amasomero amangi ge tugenda tuzimba gonna gavudde mu bukulembeze bwa gavumenti obulungi nga tuli wansi wa pulezidenti waffe Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Njagala okubatambuzaako bannange mulabe gavumenti etuzimbidde amasomero mangi okuva ddala ku primary ne ku secondary ate tulina ne plan ey'okuzimba amalala mangi mu bbanga ettono erijja. Naye bwe muba musobola okubaako kye mukola okwebaza mwebaze nga mutiikinga Museveni obudde bwe butuuka. Allow us to go. This is yours.